aware of what Manchester City had done? Do you keep them away from that? What happens?
We were away because obviously it's a huge game, and we all wanted to watch parts of it. But when we got here, it was just focus on what we can do. We can only control what we can do, and let's be the best that we can be, and that's it.
Always in my career, I have this bad period, but I'm here to learn and to fix it, But I'm more important with the 3 points than the goals, So, yeah, congrats for the team.
I'm so happy for him because he's worked so hard with the support and help of the staff throughout the last 5 months, I would say, and today he got rewarded for that, so very pleased for him.
Obviously, massive respect for Leeds and what happened there, and it was an unbelievable time for me, so, just helping Arsenal now, and that's the most important.
Nobody have any doubt about the commitment, the desire of my players, They show in all the different performance, and we'll do it in the next game again, and I think we'll be with a better result.
That's 100 victories as Arsenal manager for you in all competitions. Well done.
Thank you very much. I didn't know, but it's a beautiful number, and let's go for the next one. Really well to all of them. So, tricky game, tricky opponent, but overall I think we deserve to win the game, and really happy to carry on with the win.
You say there, tricky game, tricky opponent. They certainly made things hard in the opening stages, didn't they, Leeds? Yeah,
they do, and they play with a lot of organisation and desire. We talked about it. We have to be patient. We had a couple of moments that we lost the ball in dangerous areas, and they put 4 players with a lot of pace to explore the spaces. And after that, I think we got set. We were really efficient in both boxes, I think, and really happy.
Some relief then when the referee did point to the spot, and Gabriel Jesus, it was almost a perfect return to the starting lineup for him.
Yeah, so happy for him, and everybody that contributed to have him in the state that he is at the moment, because he put so much work on it. He brings that quality, that unpredictability to the squad. The action that he just does is incredible.
Second half, you then take it to 2-3-0. We've seen the frustration from Aaron Ramsdale when he doesn't keep a clean sheet. Is that something you share as well?
Absolutely, and that's the standards that we have to set ourselves, because we have to defend that ball better, and the goal difference is important, and today we should have a better goal difference.
Yeah, with the standards that you're setting, equally, this is your 5th straight game in a row. You've scored more than 3 goals. You can tell from your reaction with that 4th, it means a lot to you, doesn't you?
It does, because we have to demand ourselves more, and especially we have periods in the second half that we should have done the simple things much better and go for the 4th, the 5th goal if we could. And with all respect to Leeds, we wanted to do that, and we could have done better.
That hunger then, no coincidence, 5th game in a row that you've scored more than 3 goals. That is a real message to your players, is it, game in, game out?
It is, and everybody has to contribute to those goals, and today was a good example as well of that. The goal that Granit scored arriving in the box, terrific, and we need to continue. We need goals.
Well, today you have surpassed 70 points, more than your total for the entirety of last season. What does that say about this team?
Well, that we've been really, really consistent throughout the season, and the most important thing is, again, tomorrow, and improve and do things better than we've done today in many areas that we can still do, and that's the positive thing about it.
Just finally, at the start of talking to you just now, you did say about your players having to block out a number of things. I suppose one of those would have been City playing a bit earlier. How pleased are you with the way that they have managed to cope with that and extend it to 8 points once more?
Yeah, well, we cannot control that, and we know that they are capable of doing that. So we need to focus on what we can control, what we can do, and play as well as we can to keep winning games.
OK, well, thanks for your time. Well done today.
Thank you very much.
Look at this for the run they're on since that defeat to Manchester City in mid-February. 7 wins on the spin. Alan, in all but one of those games, they've scored at least 3. And until today, they've done all of that without their number 9.
Yeah, they've got to say Leeds made it really difficult for them in the first half an hour. They had to work really hard. But once they got that goal, then I thought there was only going to be one winner. 11 games without a goal prior to the World Cup, Jesus. But he's back. They've had to be patient with him with the injury, and that certainly worked because he looked very sharp today. Perhaps should have scored his hat-trick, because this was a good chance that he could have put in the back of the net. He gets himself in between the 2 defenders there. Just doesn't quite get over it there enough. But it's a good ball in but it should have been in the back of the net. Did really well here. He could have gone down in the first challenge, Christensen. He actually connects with him, but he stays up. But then when you see it from the other angle here, look, he does clip him there, but he stays on his feet. But this time, I mean, I don't know what Luke Ealing's doing. It's a stupid challenge there. He actually kicks him in the knee. So, yeah, absolutely the right decision. And he gets up and he has the confidence, stick it straight down the middle. Thank you. Great confidence. But the way he gives and goes here, gives it into Trossard. Clever signing, Trossard. 7 assists already. Only been there since January. He gives and goes, gets on the end of it and gets his second goal. So Arsenal are looking good. I was at that game when they played Man City and were beating at home, and I thought, there's a big test for them here. They're passing with flying colours at the minute.
You've both been in title run-ins. When you look at the run-ins for both clubs, it's the number of games that Manchester City have, and there'll be more, obviously, if they get past Bayern Munich, and they've got the FA Cup semi-final. The interesting thing is actually Arsenal have 3 league games and City 2 before they meet again, Micah. So it could be 11 points when they meet.
It could, but I think with City, with the size that they've got enough to deal with them games. But I just think it's going to go all the way to the end. I think Arsenal are a different breed now. I think they know how to win. Like Alan said, when they played each other and City won, we thought they'd be over. But they clawed their way back, and that's what good teams do.
You can make an argument for either of them, can't you? Big games keep coming, players relish it. Oh, 1 game a week, well, there's time to rest and prepare. You can make an argument for either.
And Mike is right in terms of what he says about the squad. Man City have got the biggest squad, and we keep saying, well, if Arsenal have they had Saka didn't play today, Saliba hasn't played today, and they keep asking those questions and keep getting through those games and winning games. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting running.
Because we had quite a few things going on in the last few days, and the team responded really well to all of them. So, tricky game, tricky opponent, but overall I think we deserve to win the game, and really happy to carry on with the win.
You say there, tricky game, tricky opponent. They certainly made things hard in the opening stages, didn't they, Leeds?
Yeah, they do, and they play with a lot of organisation and desire. We talked about it. We have to be patient. We had a couple of moments that we lost the ball in dangerous areas, and they put 4 players with a lot of pace to explore the spaces. And after that, I think we got set. We were really efficient in both boxes, I think, and really happy.
Back at the top, it is 8 points. Arsenal in front of Manchester City. Let's go back to the Emirates. Right, he's smiling away. Someday for Arsenal, and in particular for the returning Gabriel Jesus, who joins us now. Thank you very much indeed, Gabriel. On a personal level, after all you've been through, how good does that feel today?
Hello, guys. Hello, everyone there.
Nice.
And so happy to be back. To start the game again in Premier League, the league that I love and I have been here 7 years. So yeah, so happy to have a come back with the team, and also of course I want to score every time, but the 3 points is massive in that period.
I was going to say to you, Gabriel Jesus, about the frustration it must have been watching this team. How frustrating has it been to be out that long and now waiting to get back, knowing that the team need you so much?
Yes, legend. It's normal. You guys play, and you know the game. When you are watching from outside, it's no good. Yeah. But I was happy because the team keep the energy, keep the well played with the games. The most important games we win. So yeah, it's still there. Now I have more power, more energy, and of course I want to play till the end of the season to help the team.
Really well done, Gabriel. Thank you very much indeed for joining us there. Apologies.
It's another latest showing of the mental strength that Mikel Arteta has instilled in the Arsenal squad. They saw their lead at the top cut after City's win earlier to just 5 points, and that was the perfect response. Was it not, Gary?
It was a perfect response, yeah. And I think if you're challenging or you're on the top of the table and you have a result like the City got before you, there's always that extra bit of pressure on the game. And the way that they went about that game and responded was what they need to do if they're going to go and lift that trophy come the end of the season. But I just feel like they've got a great structure now throughout the team. I think in recent years, it wouldn't be harsh to say that they had a bit of a soft underbelly. They'd go on runs and then wobble a little bit. I just don't see the wobble in this squad at the moment. They've had some fantastic signings, and yeah, they deserve the win, of course.
Many positives for Arteta, including Gabriel Jesus, back amongst the goals for the first time since October. Of course, he's had a long layoff.
Yeah.
The first from the penalty spot, but what about the actual incident? Was it the right call?
Yeah, absolutely. And he sits him down. Haaland just sticks out his foot and he runs into his foot, almost he hits him on the knee. You quite clearly see it here. Look, I mean, he's entitled to go down. There is contact there, and he sweeps home the penalty. He waits for the goalkeeper, to move, and he just takes it into the other corner. Fantastic penalty. Nice cool head. Saka's off the pitch because he's ill today. He comes on late in the game. He's took their other 2 penalties this season, but it was no problem for Jesus, and he just carried on going. He just, Trossard, what a signing he's been. Hit the floor running, knows everything about the Premier League, sticks it into a dangerous area, and Jesus just continues with his run, and he can never miss that. He never miss a chance like that. He's been a wonderful signing for him. He shows great attitude. He's been out for a while. He comes back. I was just saying to Gary, he looks so trim, so looks ready. He's not been like sulking. He's been in the gym. He's been working hard. He's getting it medically fit again, and he looks really, really welcome to play at the moment. He looks brilliant.
Let's have a look at the fixtures coming up for the 2 title contenders, both Arsenal and Manchester City. Which dressing room would you prefer to be in? Gary, you've been there. You've won the Premier League a couple of times. When you take those into account, can you pick between the two?
I would probably, if I'm looking at that, I'm looking at probably Man City. So you're looking at the tough games that you're hoping the other team drops points. If you're in the other dressing room, obviously Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea still to play for Arsenal. The big one, of course, is going to be the April, isn't it? The 26th when they play each other. That's going to be the huge game. But like I said earlier, I don't see City going anywhere. The pressure is going to be on all the way until the end. But
do you think they can negotiate all those the cup games buy-in in the Champions League?
Yeah, this is the other thing. Obviously, the fixture pile-up. But in answer to your question, yeah, I do. Because look at the squad that they have and the depth they have. They can change it. You've got a manager who's used to that pile-up of fixtures. He's used to this amount of games. But the squad they've got are more than capable of dealing with that, I'm sure.
It's hard to call. I've gone with City all season, so I don't want to change now.
But you can't change, won't let you.
But it's very difficult to, because I think Arsenal are putting up a fight. They're not going anywhere. Their signings have been absolutely fantastic. We know that Man City are the team with the experience. And what did they do? Arsenal went out and bought some. Jorginho, Zinchenko, Jesus, and Trossard we already mentioned.
And they're slotting in as if they've been there for years.
Brilliant, because it's all down to the manager. If anyone's fit, you can pick their side. Every single week you can pick it. Continuity, what he's got there, brilliant.
So even with 0-1 down, we were playing good, and Jack make a good save for the potential 0-2. But in general, the way we played, the way we found our spaces for the way they defend, our intensity, high pressing, the players, all of them, they were magnificent.
Coming out of half-time and then conceding these 2 quick goals obviously broke everything down today, pretty much. The goals, how we conceded, are absolutely not to accept, to be honest, but you saw the impact of these 2 goals, then City now completely in control, and we were open like, I don't know how.
You made a big contribution to the game, scored a goal, but maybe no bigger contribution than that little touch as Mohamed Salah was looking for Jota in the middle when you were 1-0 down.
Yeah, obviously, it's my job. It's everyone's job. People keep saying, a few people have said this to me after the game, but I think anyone would do it in our team. That was obviously part of my job. On the corners to track the runner if they do break. And luckily, I got a touch on it to stop the goal, and then a couple of minutes later, obviously set up Julian. It was an important part of the game, but it's obviously what I'm there to do, and I want to obviously help my teammates.
Very impressive from Manchester City. So how much were they on it? How much were Liverpool off it, or is it a bit of both?
It was definitely a bit of both, but tactically I thought Man City got it spot on today. And in terms of John Stones playing in the back 4 at right back, but going into midfield to overload, and Liverpool just didn't know how to deal with it. And you'll see here what City tried to do. They played with 2 pivots and the 2 number 10s, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Rodri and Stones. And what that did, Henderson didn't know where to stay or whether to go. He sort of caught in between 2 minds. Here, he tried to go with Stones, but really he should be covering the back four then can come up because he goes to press. It doesn't happen. Robertson has got Mahrez to his left-hand side, but then he decides to go to De Bruyne. De Bruyne's pointing, knows exactly where he wants to go. Henderson, in fairness, tries to get back, but Man City move the ball too quick, and it's a lovely tap-in for the first goal. The second goal, again, you'll see Man City in midfield, see the three of them, but De Bruyne stays really high, so the Liverpool midfield don't know where to stay, whether to go. The ball comes, it's a bad mistake from Fabinho, but within seconds, you know, Liverpool have always been taught to get the ball back quickly. You know, one goes after it, the other goes back to, and one pat cuts out 3 players, then leaves Man City 4 versus 3. Loads of space for Alvarez. Van Dijk's got a decision to make. Should he get tight? No, he doesn't do that. Should he drop off and give his defenders a chance in midfield to get back in? Robertson then tries to come and play offside, and that time it's too late, and then it's another easy tapping, but brilliantly worked goal from Man City. And then this is a bit of a low block. So you've got Fabinho and Konate. There needs to be some communication. He gets the ball, and that's fine, that can happen, but it's where he runs to. Just watch how many Liverpool players go towards the ball and he's left free, right in the box, has the shot, and then, you know, they get the tap in at the end. But watching the game today, we're always thinking, fielder going into the back or defender going into midfield, how can it help within the game? And today showed exactly why, because of the overload, and Liverpool didn't know exactly what to do.
I mean, that's game specific from Mikel, obviously, and you could see there were so many times where they were sort of caught in no man's land, the Liverpool players, and yet you see that graphic there. This is a regular thing this season, the amount of chances that they are conceding.
They're miles off it, Liverpool. They look a yard short, particularly in midfield and defensively. Trying to go on their own, trying to go and press when you can never, ever do that. There were times where Trent was actually closing the goalkeeper down. Robertson was trying to go in tight when they should be actually sitting, trying to be tight and compact. But they're miles off it. They're so far away from where we've seen, and
it's like they're caught in between two systems out there. Because they've been so used to doing and pressing, getting the ball back quickly, but they don't have the legs to do it anymore. And it's leaving a big space rather behind or in the midfield area. And they've just not got the legs to get around the pitch anymore.
Jack Grealish said afterwards, Alan, I feel back to my normal self. I feel fit and back to confidence.
Absolutely. I mean, there were so many impressive performances. Stones, Alvarez, De Bruyne, Gundogan. But I thought the best player on the park was Jack Grealish, playing with such confidence, with a belief in his own ability now. He stretched there defensively, Liverpool. They just couldn't handle him at all. As playing balls in behind like that, had the freedom to come inside, go down the outside. And he was just magnificent in everything that he did. I mean, this is as good as a goal, this is, because this can be 2-0 if he doesn't do this. If he doesn't run that 80 or 90 yards, then it goes 2-0. It could be a very, very different story. But when he had the ball, he was as good as anything. And as I said, he stretched them, and he gave Trent a torrid time at fullback. Trent didn't know what day it was, didn't know where to go, what to do, how to handle him. I mean, where do you want it? Put it in the second 6-yard box, put it on a plate for him. Thank you very much, tap in. It was a magnificent cross, exactly where the forward needs it. The ball eventually comes to him here. As I said, Trent didn't know whether to get tight with him, show him down the line, show him inside. In the end, he does neither. And then you see his work rate again, tracking back. We've already seen that once, crunch and tackle. Absolutely magnificent. Again, making it very difficult. It's a brilliant run from De Bruyne, and Trent doesn't know where he is. But look where Trent starts, look where he finishes. He's 10 or 15 yards away from Jack Grealish there when he sticks the ball in the back of the net. He just couldn't cope with him. And the stats pre and post World Cup, that will tell you. 14 games pre-World Cup, 8 appearances. 14 games post-World Cup, 12 starts. So it's and look at everything's improved. You're seeing a player that is happy with his game, is content in what he is,
knows
where
his
he
role
is,
within the club,
what he's being asked to do in that particular in the team, and he's one of the most important players at Man City at the moment.
Two quick other bits here. To be fair to Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool, they didn't make a big thing of Rodri and whether it should have been a second yellow card. They admitted they were well beaten. Should it have been a second yellow card? Did they get away with one?
Yeah, slightly. I mean, if he hadn't have been booked, I would have said definitely he would have got one. But of course, VAR can't come in because it's only a yellow.
Yeah, I probably agree with that.
you know, even if you don't make eye contact with me, I'm still going to ask you. I can see you trying to avoid them. OK, then. The other thing, Micah, loads of stuff on social media about this celebration for the equaliser from Guardiola. Guardiola said afterwards he didn't mean any disrespect by this. What do you make of this?
It was just a bit of fun, I thought. I don't think there's anything too much wrong with that.
I wouldn't have been as polite as Simicast was, put it that way.
No, I can well believe that. You're like a pupil at school where you don't want to answer a question and you look everywhere to not catch the eye of the teacher.
He's such a character, and you should know from the time you had him at Aston Villa.
I know, that's all you should say. When can I have a day off?
Yeah, for Manchester City, that's 7 straight wins in all competitions. But the way they dispatched of Liverpool was the most impressive thing, particularly without a certain Norwegian leading the line, Gary.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it was always going to be a big miss, but they just adapt, don't they? They're just so capable of adapting. They've been here time and time again. Looks like they're going nowhere. Looks like they're going to obviously push to the very end, applying a lot of pressure. And I thought it was brilliant. You know, it's such a tough place to go, Man City, away from home. It's such a hard place to go.
Yeah. The way they went about their business. Yeah. And Jack, as you've already talked about, you know what he's like.
Yeah.
But that was that arguably his best performance in a City shirt for you?
Possibly. I think he's had some good ones, but just the work rate. Look at him here. Look at the recovery. People don't give him the credit for the pace, what he has. But he's still got the awareness to stay on his feet and block the cross. He knows exactly where the threat is. This is Gundogan, brilliant. And he knows it has to come first time, and he puts it on the plate there for Alvarez. I mean, Jack is... the friend is of the ball. I mean, he caresses it. I mean, he sleeps with that football. I mean, he absolutely loves it to death. I mean, but you know exactly what he's going to do. I think he should work more on this. I still think he can get better. He can up his numbers, but he's an incredible threat, and he's being trusted by this great manager around these superb players. I just think that now he's one of the first names on the team sheet. If there was a cup final tomorrow, I think Jack Grealish should be on the team sheet, no doubt. And I think he's done well to even talk to him within that light in such a short space of time, because it's so hard to fit into Pep Guardiola's sides.
Yeah. And I think he's playing in a position as well that he looks to impact the games, and you just look at them clips there. He's certainly impacted the game. He's tracked back, defended well there. A minute between the two, he's at the other end of the pitch and he's put it on a plate, and he's also got a goal. So in terms of his position and impact in a game of football, he's done that today.
As for Liverpool, it makes their bid to reach the top 4 even harder, of course. It's their 8th defeat of the season in the league. Put that in some perspective, they lost 8 from the last 3 seasons combined.
Yeah.
That is some drop-off, Tim.
It's been a huge fall from grace. I really believe this, and I think they've got away with the stick this season. I think it's really difficult to give Jurgen Klopp stick because he's done a brilliant job. We love him in the Premier League. We're blessed to have had a manager of his quality. But there's something not right with the squad. We know they've had injuries, but so do other teams. And they're very, very poor. I just can't put my finger on what's happened. When I watched that game today, we saw a team so far ahead of them in Man City. You know, out of possession, you see how hard they work to get the ball back. They suffocated Liverpool today. They could not get their head up and pass that ball. Even when they went ahead, I knew, you just felt that Man City was just come and open them up time and time again. That's what they did.
They've only managed 12 points away from home, Gary. Southampton, the bottom club, have got more than Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool right now. What's happened to the mentality monsters away from home?
Yeah, certainly a problem in that. I think maybe because of them results, maybe the confidence has dipped even in the big players. They had a bad result from their point of view at Bournemouth away. Today, obviously, like I said, Man City is a tough place for anybody to go. But I think the way that played out in the last, especially the second half, you know, you saw a team that totally dominated there. And these are 2 giant teams. So a lot of change at Liverpool. I do like Klopp. I do think he's a great manager. He comes across as that manager that I would have liked to play for. So I think if there's anybody that can turn it around, it's him.
But this is the start of a momentous week for Liverpool. Chelsea, Arsenal, the next 2. Can they now not afford to drop points against those two if they are to make the top four? How do you read it?
Well, the way I read it is the problem with Liverpool Football Club is that for a number of seasons now they've been challenging for Champions League and Premier League titles, and now they're not. So where's the motivation for these players? Now the motivation should be to put that great shirt on, that Liverpool shirt, and play your best to be there for the rest of your career, because you try and find a bigger club than Liverpool to go and play for. So that should be the motivation. But I understand why they can drop off.
Yeah.
You know, when they're used to challenging for trophies, and all of a sudden they just got to push for a top 4 spot. You know, it's really hard to get motivated, but they need to. They need to for this great club, and it helps them recruit top players for next year. So hopefully they can put a